Well, we've been talking here and there about everything that goes into the college selection process. Today, we want to focus specifically on college campus visits. And joining me now to talk more about that, I'm happy to have Nicole Kelman from the New England Education Consultants to talk more about that. First of all, a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. You as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit of early advice as I've got somebody going into ninth grade, so we're not quite there yet. But it had me thinking back to when I was doing college visits back in the 90s, and I'm trying to remember. Well, I don't know that I specifically knew what I was trying to get out of it, other than just sort of getting a sense or a general vibe.
Right.
So why don't we start there? What should parents and prospective college students be looking, what questions should they be looking to answer from that visit?
Yes, so when you go to visit colleges, they all start to look the same, right? So I always tell students the best thing that you can start off with is taking photos, taking notes, trying to remember the distinct qualities. Every college has their own personality, right? So trying to remember those pieces is most important.
Okay, now, whom should you be talking to? Obviously, these are sort of guided tours. I think they're always going to show you the best of what they want you to see.
Yes, admissions offices obviously are kind of that selling point, so I always recommend that families meet as many current students as possible, not just the students that work in admissions. So if you have some extra time, try to walk around the campus, meet some students walking around just the student union or in academic buildings, and ask them questions. They were once in your shoes before, too, so they get it.
Yeah. Well, what about some of the extracurricular activities you're expecting in college, right? How do you get a feel for what the sort of the campus social life is, sports life, what the programs are? Do people go to the football and baseball games, things like that?
Yeah, definitely. If you have some extra time, try to visit one of those sporting events. Try to go to an event happening on campus. If students have extra time to do an overnight visit, those are all possibilities as well.
Yeah. What other things should you be trying to see when you're there, maybe after the tour is done, outside of just walking around and talking to students?
Well, I always say you're going to live there for 4 years, so try the food, right? That would be a good idea. If you can, maybe grab a cup of coffee or grab a snack. You can pay cash or credit for any of the cafeterias on campus, so that is a really good idea. Don't just eat the catering food at an open house. Try the food in a cafeteria.
Yeah. Somehow in my head, I'm sort of applying the analogy of like watching Anthony Bourdain when he do a show. You don't want to take the tour. You want to find those offbeat kind of places to really get a feel for what it's about. Here's sort of flipping that question on its head. Are there any red flags that sort of give you a sense that maybe they're trying to hide something they don't want you to see?
Not necessarily red flags, but I always say try to just look behind the curtain. So again, meeting other students, trying to go off the path of a regular tour. If you're going to try to eat some food off campus, that's totally fine too. Usually people can give you recommendations in the area. It's worthwhile to just spend time because, again, you're going to have to live there, so really check it out.
Yeah. How about parents themselves? Is there anything they can do to sort of help the student along? Because it's a lot to just put on them.
This is going to be the hardest part for parents, but really do your best to allow your student to lead. So when you're walking around on tours, allow your student to ask the questions. When you're done with the tour, wait for your student to give an opinion about the school first before you give an opinion about the school, right? They're going to give you the opposite opinion. If you liked it, they probably won't. If they like it, you won't. So, it's good to just wait for their opinion first.
Oh, that is absolutely brilliant advice because it immediately rang true. That's what I would do in that situation. I'm going to ask the questions, and you're right. I'm going to try to guide a conversation that I should not even be starting. Yes. All right. Lastly, what about follow-up after the tour is over, after you've gotten back home?
Yeah. The best thing you can do is make sure that you grab business cards while you're on campus in the admissions office. So get a business card for your tour guide, just an email, and then also get a business card for the representative for your state. And definitely send a thank you email when you get home within 1 to 2 days after you get home, just to say thank you for your time.
Is there any recommended amount of how many college campuses you should be visiting, or is that just up to each family?
I think there's a common misconception that you have to visit every school on your list before you apply. That's not the truth. You can absolutely visit after you apply, but some colleges do measure demonstrated interest. So going to visit and showing that interest in the school can be helpful in the admissions process, but mainly for your own benefit. I think it's good for students to just get a sense of the feel and the vibe of the campus before you apply to see if it's the right fit for you.
So if you're in this position, good luck. It's going to be stressful, but exciting, but fun, but challenging, and all these things all at once for you and for your students. So hopefully we've made it a little bit easier for you. Nicole, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. Of course. Happy to help.
And we